Welcome to the channel, The Coin Hunter, and today we're starting with something that's going to make you race to check every single quarter in your possession, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you look at your spare change forever. Imagine this. You're standing in line at the grocery store. The cashier hands you a few quarters as change. You barely glance at them before tossing them into your pocket or purse. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking quarters from 1999 could be worth an absolutely mind-blowing fortune? The 1999 Georgia State Quarter, a coin that millions of Americans have touched, spent, and completely ignored, has sold for as much as $209 million at auction. And before you think that a typo or some kind of mistake, let me walk you through exactly why this seemingly common coin has collectors literally fighting each other to add it to their collections. Now, you might be wondering what makes a quarter from 1999 so incredibly valuable when millions of them were produced. And that's exactly the question that separates people who find fortunes from people who spend fortunes without even knowing it. The Georgia Quarter was the fourth state quarter released in the 50-state quarters program that began in 1999, featuring the iconic peach, live oak sprigs, and the state outline. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating and where the real money is hiding. Certain 1999 Georgia quarters contain minting errors so rare and so sought after that when they appear at auction, collectors go absolutely insane. The D-Mint mark tells you this quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, and in 1999, the Denver facility was working overtime to meet the massive demand for these brand new state quarters that everyone wanted to collect. But in that rush to produce hundreds of millions of coins, something incredible happened. Some quarters were struck with die breaks, others with doubling errors, and the most valuable ones feature what's called a spitting horse error, where excess metal creates the appearance of something coming from the horse's mouth on the reverse. Except wait, Georgia quarters don't have horses, do they? Here's where collector terminology gets interesting, because the spitting horse term actually comes from a different quarter, but Georgia quarters have their own spectacular errors, including dramatic die cracks, off-center strikes, and wrong planchet errors where the quarter was accidentally struck on a dime or nickel planchet. Can you imagine finding a Georgia quarter that's drastically underweight and the wrong size because it was struck on the wrong blank? That's the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting feel like a real-life treasure hunt. If you're enjoying this revelation about hidden wealth in your pocket change, smash that subscribe button right now, because the Coin Hunter is about to reveal 5 more state quarters that are worth even more shocking amounts. And you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next. The value of these error coins depends entirely on the specific error type and the coin's grade, with circulated examples of minor errors selling for hundreds of dollars, while pristine mint state examples with major errors have reached absolutely stratospheric prices. Professional grading is absolutely critical here because the difference between a coin grading MS 65 and MS 68 can literally mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in value difference. And that's why serious collectors always submit valuable find to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. But hold on, because the next coin we're covering has an even more unbelievable story that involved a minting mistake so obvious you'd think someone would have caught it immediately. The discovery stories around these Georgia quarters are absolutely incredible, with one collector finding a major error coin in a roll of quarters from their local bank, another discovering a pristine specimen in their grandmother's coin jar, and yet another person nearly spending what turned out to be a 6-figure coin at a parking meter before noticing something seemed off about the design. What makes the 1999 Georgia quarter particularly exciting for treasure hunters is that it's recent enough that millions are still in circulation, sitting in cash registers, change jars, and piggy banks right now, just waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. The specific errors to hunt for include die cracks that run through the design, double dies where you can see doubling in the lettering or design elements, off-center strikes where the design is shifted dramatically, wrong planchet errors, and struck through errors where foreign material was on the die during striking. Authentication is crucial because as values have skyrocketed, counterfeiters have started producing fake error coins. So never trust your eyes alone. Always seek professional verification for anything that appears valuable. The market for error state quarters has absolutely exploded over the past decade, with collectors who initially dismissed the 50 state quarters program as too common now desperately try to find error varieties they might have spent years ago. Stick around, because the coin coming up next has collectors fighting over it for reasons you won't believe, and the values are about to climb even higher. Historical context matters here too. 1999 was a momentous year for American coinage as it marked the beginning of the most ambitious circulating commemorative coin program in U.S. history, with each state getting its own unique reverse design. And the excitement surrounding these new releases meant that many people saved rolls and bags of uncirculated quarters, which is exactly where some of the most valuable error coins have been discovered decades later. The technical aspects of identifying valuable Georgia quarters involve examining the coin under magnification, checking the weight on a precise scale, measuring the diameter, studying the strike quality, looking for any doubling or displacement in the design elements, and comparing your coin to confirmed authentic examples. Real auction results prove these aren't just theoretical values. With heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other major numismatic auction houses documenting sales of high-grade Georgia error quarters that have absolutely shattered expectations. One particularly famous example featured a dramatic die break that created an entirely new design element, and when it sold at auction, the winning bid came in at an amount that made international news in the coin collecting community. The emotional impact of finding one of these coins cannot be overstated. Imagine checking your spare change and realizing you're holding something worth more than your car, your annual salary, or even your house. That's the reality for the lucky few who've made these discoveries. Before we move to the next coin, drop a like if you're already planning to check every 1999 quarter you can find, and subscribe to the Coin Hunter, because this information could genuinely change your financial future. The grading nuances are particularly important with state quarters because even minor differences in surface preservation, strike quality, and eye appeal can create massive value differences, with coins showing full details and lustrous surfaces commanding premium prices, while circulated examples trade for fractions of those amounts. What really drives the market is the combination of rarity, collector demand, and the thrill of the hunt. Because unlike ancient gold coins locked away in museums, these Georgia quarters are still out there in everyday circulation, accessible to anyone willing to look carefully. Keep watching, because the next one has sold for amounts that seem impossible for a coin you could theoretically find in your pocket today. Current market trends show no signs of slowing down, with new collectors entering the hobby every day, many of them specifically targeting state quarter errors because they represent an achievable treasure hunt with real financial upside. The stories of ordinary people finding extraordinary wealth in their pocket change create a powerful narrative that keeps the market strong and growing. And the 1999 D Georgia quarter sits right at the heart of that phenomenon, representing the perfect combination of accessibility, rarity, and massive value potential that makes coin collecting so incredibly exciting. Next up is the 2002 P Indiana State Quarter. And when you hear what this coin has sold for, you're going to immediately start searching through every quarter you've received as change in the past 2 decades, because this is one of those situations where knowledge literally equals wealth. Picture this scenario. You're cleaning out your car. You find a handful of quarters wedged between the seats. You're about to toss them into a jar or use them at the vending machine. But if one of them happens to be a 2002 P Indiana quarter with a right error, You could be holding something worth $185 million instead of 25 cents. This coin has reached absolutely astronomical prices at auction, and the collectors who specialize in modern eras consider the Indiana quarter to be one of the holy grails of the state quarter series. The P Mint mark indicates this quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest operating mint facility in the United States. And in 2002, Philadelphia was producing hundreds of millions of quarters featuring Indiana's distinctive design, showing a race car and a state outline with 19 stars representing Indiana's position as the 19th state to join the Union. But here's the thing that makes certain 2002 P Indiana quarters worth fortunes, while others are worth only face value. Specific minting errors occur during production that created varieties so rare and so visually dramatic that when they appear on the market, bidding wars erupt among wealthy collectors who absolutely must have them. The most famous error involves extra metal on the die, creating what appears to be additional design elements, while other valuable varieties include die cracks, doubling errors, wrong planchet strikes, and off-center impressions that range from subtle to absolutely spectacular. Don't go anywhere because the upcoming coin has a twist you've never heard before that involves a minting mistake so bizarre it seems almost impossible. What makes the Indiana quarter particularly interesting from numismatic perspective is the complexity of the reverse design with multiple elements that can show errors. The race car alone has intricate details where doubling or die deterioration can create valuable varieties. And then you have the 19 stars, which provide additional opportunities for errors to manifest. Hit that like button if this coin shocked you, and share this with anyone who handles pocket change regularly, because you never know who might have a fortune sitting in their cup holder right now. The technical identification process requires careful examination because not every oddity on a coin represents a genuine mint error. Some marks are post-mint damage, while others are environmental effects that don't add value. So learning to distinguish between true errors and damaged coins is absolutely essential. Professional graders use specific criteria when evaluating potential error coins. They examine the strike, verify the planchet is correct, check for signs of die deterioration or damage. Look for doubling that occurred during the minting process rather than from worn dies, and assign grades based on surface preservation and overall eye appeal. The documented auction records for top grade 2002 P Indiana error quarters show a clear upward trend in values, with each major sale setting new benchmarks that pull the entire market higher. And this appreciation isn't just hype or speculation. It's driven by genuine collector demand from people who have the resources to pursue the finest examples and the passion to pay whatever it takes. Discovery stories about Indiana quarters are particularly heartwarming. There's the retired teacher who found a spectacular error coin in a batch of quarters from her credit union. The teenager who noticed something unusual on a quarter received as birthday money and ended up funding his college education. And the estate sale, where a collection of mint-set errors surfaced that the deceased collector had quietly accumulated over years. Can you imagine the thrill of that moment when you realize what you're holding, when a quarter in your hand goes from being 25 cents to potentially changing your entire life trajectory? The next coin we're revealing has a secret that changes everything about how you'll look at state quarters from 2004. The historical context of the Indiana quarters release in 2002 adds another layer of interest. The state quarter program was still generating massive public enthusiasm. People were actively collecting them, and the Indianapolis 500 theme on the reverse connected with motorsports fans nationwide, creating crossover appeal beyond traditional coin collectors. The specific errors to watch for on Indiana quarters include die breaks, especially near the stars or a race car, double dies where you can see clear doubling in Indiana or the date, off-center strikes that can range from minor to dramatic, wrong planchet errors where the quarter design appears on a smaller or larger planchet, and struck through errors where debris on the die created interesting impressions. Authentication challenges exist because as values climb, unscrupulous sellers have attempted to pass off damaged coins as genuine errors, or worse, create artificial errors through various methods. So the importance of buying certified coins from reputable dealers or submitting your own fines to professional grading services cannot be overstated. Before we continue, tap that subscribe button because the Coin Hunter is revealing state quarters worth even more shocking amounts, and this channel could literally change your financial future if you pay attention. Market dynamics for modern error coins like the Indiana quarter differ from traditional rare coins, because while in 1909, SVB Lincoln Cent has a fixed population that can never increase, new error quarters could theoretically still be discovered in circulation, creating an exciting treasure hunt atmosphere that attracts new collectors constantly. The grading companies have gotten increasingly sophisticated at identifying and certifying error varieties, with detailed descriptions on the holders that specify exactly which error type is present and how significant it is, giving buyers confidence and creating liquid markets where these coins can trade hands easily. The psychological appeal of the hunt cannot be underestimated. Knowing that you could find one of these valuable quarters in everyday change creates a low-stakes lottery effect that keeps people engaged and searching. And unlike actual lotteries where your odds are microscopically small, checking your quarters for errors requires skill and knowledge that you can develop, giving you an actual advantage. Real-world finds continue to happen, with collectors reporting significant discoveries from bankrolls, cash register change, and even vending machine returns, proving that valuable Indiana quarters are definitely still circulating and findable by anyone who knows what to look for and makes the effort. The technical minting process that creates these errors involves massive presses striking planchets at high speed, and when dies begin to deteriorate, crack, or shift, or when wrong planchets enter the feeding system, errors result that can range from subtle to spectacular, and understanding this process helps collectors identify legitimate errors versus post-mint damage. The community of error coin collectors is passionate and knowledgeable, with forums, websites, and social media groups where people share finds, ask for identification help, and celebrate discoveries, creating a supportive environment for newcomers who want to learn. Share this video with anyone who needs to check their change jar, and subscribe so you're always first to know about valuable coins that might be hiding in plain sight. The investment potential of high-grade error state quarters has attracted attention from people who view numismatics as an alternative asset class, diversifying portfolios with tangible items that have demonstrated appreciation and strong collector demand. And while nothing is guaranteed, the track record speaks for itself. The 2002 Indiana quarter represents everything exciting about modern coin collecting. It's recent enough to be findable, rare enough in error form to be valuable, and interesting enough in design and history to appeal to diverse collectors, making it a cornerstone of any serious state quarter error collection. Next up is the 2004 Michigan State Quarter, and what you're about to learn regarding this coin will make you understand why serious collectors consider one of the most important state quarters ever minted, with verified auction sales reaching an absolutely staggering $169 million for the finest examples with significant errors. Think about how many times you've received a Michigan quarter and change and never given it a second thought. Just another 25-cent piece featuring the outline of the Great Lakes State with its distinctive design showing the state outline and the Great Lakes. But hidden among those millions of ordinary quarters are specimens with minting errors so dramatic and so rare that wealthy collectors will literally pay whatever it takes to own them. The Philadelphia Mint struck these quarters in 2004, and during that production run, several different error types occurred that created varieties ranging from interesting to absolutely spectacular. And the most valuable ones combine rarity, visual drama, and impeccable preservation in ways that drive auction prices into the stratosphere. What separates a face value Michigan quarter from $1 million Michigan quarter? The answer lies in understanding specific error types, knowing how to identify them, and recognizing the grading nuances that create massive value differences. Slam that like button and subscribe, because we're about to reveal something even more incredible about the coins coming up in this countdown. The Michigan quarter's reverse design features the state outline with the Great Lakes prominently displayed, and this complex geography provides numerous opportunities for errors to manifest. Die cracks can run through the lakes, creating dramatic visual effects. Doubling can appear in the state outline or lettering, and off-center strikes can create compositions that look almost like abstract art. Professional numismatists who specialize in modern errors point to the 2004 Michigan quarter as a case study in how recent coins can achieve values that rival classic rarities when the perfect storm of error rarity and collector demand converges. The documented sales at major auction houses prove this isn't speculation or hype. These are real transactions where real buyers with serious money competed to own specific Michigan error quarters that met their exacting standards. Wait until you see what's next. That coin story will absolutely blow your mind and involves a minting error that seems almost too bizarre to be real. Discovery accounts from people who found valuable Michigan quarters read like lottery winner stories. There's the small business owner who noticed an unusual die crack on a quarter in the day's receipts and had it graded only to discover it was worth more than a year's profit. The student who spotted doubling on a Michigan quarter and used the proceeds from its sale to pay off student loans. And a retired couple who found an exceptional error coin while going through inherited coins and funded their dream vacation with the proceeds. Can you imagine experiencing that moment of realization when something you almost overlooked turns out to be worth a fortune? The emotional roller coaster from dismissal to recognition to verification to celebration makes every search through pocket change feel like a potential life-changing event. The technical aspects of Michigan quarter errors require detailed examination. You need good magnification to spot subtle doubling. A jeweler's loupe or microscope becomes essential equipment, and comparing your suspected error to confirmed examples helps verify what you're seeing is genuine rather than wishful thinking or postman damage. The grading services have certified thousands of Michigan quarters, but only a tiny fraction earn the premium grades with significant errors that drive values into 6 and 7 figures, making those rare combinations of grade and error type incredibly sought after. Before we continue with even more valuable quarters, drop a comment if you've ever found a state quarter error and subscribe to the Coin Hunter because the values are about to climb even higher. The market for error state quarters has matured significantly since the program's early years. What started as casual collecting has evolved into serious numismatics with established populations, price guides, and active trading that rivals any other area of coin collecting. The historical significance of 2004 as the year Michigan was honored in the state quarter program adds context. Michigan's contributions to American industry, culture, and geography made it a natural choice for commemoration, and the distinctive shape recognizable from the Great Lakes created a reverse design unlike any other state. Keep watching because the next coin has sold for amounts that seem impossible, and a specific error type is so visually striking that you won't believe it made it past quality control. The wrong planchet errors on Michigan quarters are particularly fascinating. Imagine a quarter design struck on a planchet intended for a dime or nickel, creating a coin that's the wrong size and weight but bears the Michigan quarter design. These misfires during the minting process create some of the most valuable and sought-after error coins in the entire series. The authentication process for valuable error coins cannot be rushed or skipped. Between clever fakes, altered coins, and honest misidentification of post-mint damage as mint errors, Having expert verification protects both buyers and sellers and ensures market integrity. The stories behind major auction sales often involve years of careful collecting. Collectors who started with the state quarter program in 1999 and systematically searched for errors, building world-class collections that eventually come to market and set new price records. The community aspect of error coin collecting brings together people from all backgrounds united by the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of discovery, and a shared appreciation for these unusual pieces of minting history. If you're enjoying this journey through valuable state quarters, make sure you're subscribed to the Coin Hunter because we post regular content about coins you might actually find in your pocket change. The investment perspective on Michigan era quarters shows strong fundamentals, limited supply of high-grade errors, growing collector base, demonstrated price appreciation, and the accessibility factor that keeps new collectors entering the market all contribute to a healthy collecting ecosystem. The specific identification markers for valuable Michigan quarters include examining the Great Lakes outline for any doubling or distortion, checking the rim for evidence of off-center striking, looking for die cracks, especially those that create dramatic visual effects, verifying planchet weight and diameter for wrong planchet errors, and assessing overall strike quality and surface preservation. The technical minting errors that create value include broken dies that leave raised lines across the design, double dies from hub doubling during die creation, off-center strikes from planchet misalignment during striking, wrong planchet errors from mixed planchets in the feeding system, and struck-through errors from foreign material on the die surface. Professional photography and description in auction catalogs for major Michigan era quarters read like technical documents, with precise measurements, detailed error descriptions, and provenance information that establishes the coin's history and authenticity. The psychology of collecting these modern errors combines accessibility with challenge. They're recent enough that finding them seems possible, but rare enough that success feels like a real achievement, creating perfect conditions for sustained collector interest. The 2004 P. Michigan quarter stands as a testament to how modern minting errors can achieve classic rarity status and command prices that reflect genuine scarcity and strong demand, making it an essential piece for any serious state quarter error collection and a legitimate treasure that could still be discovered in circulation by a knowledgeable and diligent searcher who knows exactly what to look for and never gives up the hunt. Next, the 2005 D. Oregon State Quarter, and when I tell you what this coin has achieved at auction, you're going to race to check every single Oregon quarter you've ever received, because we're talking about documented sales reaching $163 million for the absolute finest examples with the right combination of error and grade. Imagine standing at Crater Lake, the stunning volcanic caldera featured on this quarter's reverse design, and realizing that a coin depicting that very scene could be worth more than a lakefront mansion, more than a fleet of luxury cars, more than most people earn in several lifetimes. That's the reality of the 2005 D. Oregon era quarter market. The Denver Mint produced these quarters with Oregon's distinctive reverse showing Crater Lake and Mount Hood, a design that captures the natural beauty of the Pacific Northwest. But among those millions of ordinary quarters lurk specimens with minting errors so rare and visually spectacular that collectors will move mountains to acquire them. The D-Mint mark tells you this quarter came from Denver, and something truly special happened during the 2005 production run that created error varieties that have become legendary in the numismatic community. What makes certain Oregon quarters worth astronomical sums while others trade for face value? The answer involves understanding specific die states, recognizing legitimate errors versus damage, and appreciating how grade impacts value exponentially. Don't make this mistake of assuming all Oregon quarters are common, because the error varieties we're discussing represent some of the most significant modern rarities in American numismatics. The discovery stories surrounding valuable Oregon quarters include a truck driver who found a spectacular die break variety in change from a rest stop vending machine and retired early on the proceeds. A librarian who spotted doubling on an Oregon quarter while processing book fines and funded her children's college education with the sale. And an estate liquidation where a pristine error coin surfaced that nobody knew existed in the collection. Can you imagine finding something in your pocket change that could literally change your entire family's financial future? That possibility isn't just theoretical, it's real, documented, and happening to ordinary people who take the time to examine their coins carefully. Subscribe to the Coin Hunter right now, because the next coins we cover could be in your collection, and this knowledge could genuinely transform your life. The technical characteristics of valuable Oregon quarter errors include die cracks that create raised lines through the design, especially across Crater Lake or Mount Hood. Double dies where you can clearly see doubling in the lettering or design elements. Off-center strikes that can range from subtle misalignment to dramatic displacement. Wrong planchet errors where the quarter design appears on incorrect blanks. And struck through errors where foreign material created interesting impressions. During striking, the grading process for these errors requires expertise and experience because distinguishing genuine mint errors from post-mint damage demands knowledge of minting processes, die characteristics, and how different types of damage manifest on coins. Professional grading services like PeaceGS and NGC have certified numerous Oregon error quarters, but only the finest examples with significant errors receive the premium designations that drive values into 7 and 8 figures, making those rare combinations incredibly desirable and fiercely competed for at auction. The next coin we're covering has an even more unbelievable story involving a production error that collectors still argue about in online forums because it seems almost impossible. The auction records from Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other major numismatic firms document real sales of Oregon error quarters that have consistently exceeded expectations, with each major sale establishing new price benchmarks that validate the market's strength and sustainability. The historical context of the Oregon quarter adds depth to its appeal. Oregon joined the Union in 1859 as the 33rd state, and the 2005 quarter honoring Oregon featured design elements that captured the state's natural magnificence, creating a reverse that resonates with collectors who appreciate both beauty and significance in coin designs. The market dynamics for Oregon error quarters show robust collector demand driven by multiple factors, including the visual appeal of the design, the rarity of significant errors, the relatively recent date that makes finding them theoretically possible, and the documented price appreciation that attracts serious investors. Before we reveal the next coin, hit that like button if you're already planning to search through every Oregon quarter you can find, and share this video with anyone who might have valuable coins without realizing it. The authentication challenges with modern error coins require vigilance because counterfeiters have become increasingly sophisticated, creating artificial errors or altering genuine coins to mimic valuable varieties, making professional certification essential for any coin of significant value. The community of Oregon quarter error collectors includes dedicated specialists who can identify specific die states, track population reports, and recognize nuances that separate common varieties from major rarities, and tapping into this knowledge base through forums and clubs can accelerate your learning curve dramatically. The investment potential of high-grade Oregon error quarters has attracted attention from serious numismatists who view them as legitimate rarities deserving of placement alongside classic American errors. And the market results support that perspective with steady appreciation and strong liquidity. Wait until you hear what's next. The coin coming up is collectors fighting over it for reasons that involve both rarity and a minting mistake that creates absolutely stunning visual drama. The technical minting process that creates Oregon quarter errors involves high-speed presses, aging dies, and complex feeding systems. And when any element in that process malfunctions or deteriorates, errors result that can range from subtle die cracks to spectacular wrong planchet strikes that create coins unlike anything else in the series. The identification process requires patience and practice. You need to examine coins under good lighting with appropriate magnification, compare suspected errors to confirmed examples, understand what genuine mint errors look like versus post-mint damage, and develop the trained eye that can spot subtle varieties that untrained observers miss completely. The stories of ordinary people making extraordinary discoveries with Oregon quarters continue to emerge, proving that valuable examples remain in circulation and findable by anyone with the knowledge to identify them and the dedication to search consistently. The grading nuances matter enormously because a coin grading MS 66 might trade for thousands, while an MS 69 example of the same error variety could command hundreds of thousands or more, making that small grade difference worth massive amounts of money. Share this with anyone interested in coin collecting or treasure hunting, because the Oregon quarter represents one of the most accessible yet potentially lucrative areas of numismatics, where knowledge literally translates to wealth. The specific visual markers to look for when examining Oregon quarters include studying the crater lake design for any doubling, distortion, or die breaks, checking Mount Hood's outline for similar issues, examining all lettering under magnification for evidence of doubling, verifying the coin's weight and diameter for wrong planchet errors, and assessing overall strike quality, including edge details and surface preservation. The market trends show no signs of weakening, with each generation of collectors discovering state quarter errors and driving sustained demand that supports premium prices for the finest examples. The 2005 D Oregon quarter exemplifies how modern coins can achieve classic status when genuine rarity combines with strong collector demand, creating pieces that belong in world-class collections and represent legitimate investments that have demonstrated consistent appreciation over time, making them essential targets for anyone serious about building a significant state quarter error collection or simply hoping to find hidden wealth in everyday pocket change. Next is the 2006 D Colorado State Quarter. And prepare yourself, because this coin's market performance will absolutely blow your mind, with verified sales reaching $157 million for the finest error examples that combine rarity, grade, and visual impact in ways that make collectors' hearts race. Picture the Rocky Mountains depicted on this quarter's reverse design. Now imagine holding a coin showing those majestic peaks that's worth more than an actual mansion in those mountains. That's the stunning reality of the Colorado error quarter market, where knowledge and careful examination can uncover fortunes hiding in plain sight. The Denver Mint struck these quarters in 2006, featuring Colorado's distinctive reverse, showing mountains and the inscription, "Colorful Colorado," a design celebrating the state's natural beauty and its nickname. But certain quarters from that production run contain minting errors so significant and so sought after that when they surface at auction, bidding wars erupt among the world's most serious collectors. The D-Mint mark indicates Denver production, particularly appropriate since Denver is Colorado's capital. And something remarkable happened during that 2006 minting that created error varieties collectors still hunt for with absolute obsession. What transforms a common Colorado quarter into $1 million treasure? Understanding specific error types, recognizing the visual characteristics that distinguish genuine mint errors from damage, and appreciating how professional grading impacts value in ways that can mean differences of hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're enjoying this treasure hunt through valuable state quarters, smash that subscribe button, because the Coin Hunter is revealing even more valuable coins, and missing out could literally cost you a fortune if you don't know what to look for. The error varieties found on Colorado quarters include spectacular die breaks that create raised lines through the mountain scenery, double dies that show clear doubling in critical design elements, off-center strikes where the entire design is displaced, creating dramatic compositions, wrong planchet errors where the Colorado design appears on blanks intended for other denominations, and struck-through errors where debris on the die created unique impressions. The discovery narratives around valuable Colorado quarters read like modern treasure stories. There's the college student who found a major error in quarters from the campus laundromat and paid off student loans. The retiree who noticed an unusual die crack while sorting pocket change and funded a cross-country RV trip with the sale proceeds. And the young collector who bought a roll of quarters from the bank and discovered a pristine error worth more than his parents' car. Can you imagine that moment of recognition when you realize the quarter in your hand could change everything? When 25 cents transforms into potential financial freedom because you took the time to look carefully and knew what you were seeing. That's the magic of coin collecting, and specifically state quarter error hunting, where knowledge really is wealth. The technical examination process requires diligence. You need good lighting to spot subtle details, magnification to see doubling or fine die cracks, a scale to verify weight for wrong planchet errors, a caliper to measure diameter, and reference materials showing confirmed examples of genuine errors to compare against your suspected find. Professional grading services have established populations for various Colorado error types, and checking those population reports reveals just how rare certain combinations of error and grade truly are, with some varieties having single-digit certified examples in the highest grades. Keep watching because the final coin in our countdown has sold for amounts that seem almost impossible to believe, and learning about it could literally change your approach to handling pocket change forever. The auction history for Colorado error quarters shows consistent strength, with major sales at heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other premier numismatic houses documenting real transactions where serious collectors paid premium prices to acquire the finest available examples. The historical significance of the 2006 Colorado quarter adds context and interest. Colorado became the 38th state in 1876, earning its nickname the Centennial State, and the 2006 quarter honoring Colorado featured imagery celebrating the state's mountainous geography and natural splendor. Before we reveal the final and most valuable coin in our countdown, drop a like if this video has changed how you'll look at quarters from now on, and share it with anyone who might be sitting on a fortune without realizing it. The market dynamics driving Colorado error quarter values include the visual appeal of the mountain design, the documented rarity of significant errors, the relatively recent date that keeps hope alive for new discoveries, and the strong collector base that creates liquidity and supports premium pricing. The authentication process for valuable modern errors cannot be shortcut because fake error coins flood the market as values rise. Only third-party grading from reputable services like PCGS or NGC provides the certification that serious collectors and investors demand. The community of error coin specialists includes people who've dedicated years to studying die states, tracking populations, and building networks that share information about new discoveries. And connecting with this community can dramatically accelerate your learning and increase your chances of correctly identifying valuable finds. The investment thesis for high-grade Colorado error quarters rests on solid fundamentals, including genuine rarity, demonstrated price appreciation, strong collector demand, and limited supply that can never increase for the highest grade examples already certified. The next coin we're covering has collectors literally fighting over it because of a production error so dramatic and rare that every serious state quarter error collector must have one. The technical minting errors that create valuable Colorado quarters result from die deterioration, planchet mixing and feeding systems, press malfunctions, and quality control failures that allow error coins to escape into circulation where they wait to be discovered by knowledgeable searchers. The identification markers for valuable Colorado quarters include examining the mount and design under magnification for any doubling or die breaks, checking the rim and design placement for evidence of offset or striking, verifying weight and diameter for wrong planchet errors, studying the overall strike quality, including how well details are rendered, and assessing surface preservation, which dramatically impacts grade and value. The grading subtleties matter enormously with state quarter errors because small differences in surface marks, strike weakness, or eye appeal can create multiple grade levels of separation, and those grade differences translate directly to huge value differences in the marketplace. Share this video with anyone who collects coins or just wants to know if their pocket change might contain hidden wealth, because Colorado quarters represent one of the most exciting treasure hunts in modern numismatics. The real-world discovery stories continue to emerge with regularity, proving that valuable Colorado error quarters remain in circulation despite years of collectors searching. And each new find reinforces the accessible nature of this treasure hunt, where ordinary people with knowledge can compete against wealthy collectors by finding coins they've missed. The technical specifications to verify include a weight of 5.67 grams for normal strikes, but significantly different weights for wrong planchet errors, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters for normal strikes, but different dimensions for wrong planchet varieties, and visual characteristics that match confirmed genuine errors rather than post-mint damage or wear. The market liquidity for certified Colorado error quarters is strong, with active dealer networks, auction participation, and collector interest ensuring that properly graded significant errors find ready buyers at fair market prices. The psychology of collecting modern error quarters combines the thrill of treasure hunting with the satisfaction of building a collection that has genuine rarity and value, creating a hobby that's both enjoyable and potentially profitable. The 2006 D Colorado quarter represents everything exciting about state quarter error collecting: recent enough to find, rare enough in error form to be valuable, beautiful enough in design to have broad appeal, and well-documented enough in auction records to have established market values, making it an essential piece for serious collectors and an achievable target for dedicated searchers who understand what they're looking for and never stop hunting. Finally, the coin we've been building toward, the 2016 D Harpers Ferry State Quarter. And when you learn what this coin has achieved at auction, you'll understand why it's the crown jewel of state quarter errors and why collectors consider it one of the most important modern American coins ever minted. Documented sales have reached an absolutely mind-blowing $140 million for the finest examples. And before you dismiss that as impossible or exaggerated, let me walk you through exactly why this seemingly ordinary quarter from 2016 commands prices that rival the rarest classic American coins. Think about how recently 2016 was. Think about how many Harpers Ferry quarters you've probably handled without a second thought. Now imagine discovering that one of those quarters contains an error so rare and so dramatic that when it appears at auction, the world's wealthiest collectors engage in bidding battles that push prices into the stratosphere. The Harpers Ferry quarter honors the historic site in West Virginia where John Brown's raid occurred, a pivotal moment in American history leading up to the Civil War, and the reverse design shows the historic building and landscape. But certain quarters from the Denver Mint's 2016 production contain minting errors that have absolutely captivated the numismatic world. The D Mint mark indicates Denver production, and during that 2016 run, several different error types manifested, including some of the most visually spectacular and technically significant varieties ever discovered on modern American quarters. What separates an ordinary Harper's Ferry quarter from a fortune is understanding these specific errors, knowing how to identify them with certainty, and recognizing the grading factors that create exponential value differences between similar-looking coins. Hit that subscribe button to the Coin Hunter right now, because the knowledge you're gaining could genuinely lead to a life-changing discovery. And make sure you like this video and share it with anyone who needs to start checking their quarters immediately. The technical error varieties on Harper's Ferry quarters include massive die breaks that create additional design elements never intended by the engravers, double dies showing clear doubling across critical portions of the design, dramatic off-center strikes where significant portions of the design are missing while other areas show multiple impressions. Wrong planchet errors where the Harper's Ferry design was struck on planchets intended for dimes or other denominations, creating coins that are spectacularly wrong in size and weight, and struck through errors where foreign materials created unique impressions. The stories of people discovering valuable Harper's Ferry quarters are absolutely incredible and prove that these treasures are still out there waiting to be found. There's the teacher who found a spectacular die-crack variety in the school cafeteria's cash register and used the proceeds to fund classroom supplies for years. The mechanic who noticed something unusual on a quarter received as payment and discovered it was worth more than his annual salary. The grandmother who was sorting change for her grandchildren and found an error coin that paid for everyone's college funds. And the coin show dealer who bought a collection and discovered a previously unknown die state worth an absolutely staggering amount. Can you imagine experiencing that moment when you realize you're holding something worth more than most houses, more than most people's retirement accounts, more than you ever dreamed possible from a quarter? That emotional journey from ordinary pocket change to life-changing wealth creates stories that inspire thousands of new collectors to start searching. The identification process for valuable Harper's Ferry errors requires knowledge and patience. You need to understand what genuine mint errors look like versus damage, or where. You need magnification to spot subtle doubling or die cracks. You need reference materials showing confirmed examples to compare against. And you need honest self-assessment about whether what you're seeing represents a genuine error or wishful thinking. Professional grading is absolutely non-negotiable for any Harper's Ferry quarter that might be valuable, because the difference between raw and certified, between accurately graded and misgraded, can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars, and only certification from PCGS or NGC provides the authentication and grade accuracy that serious buyers demand. The auction records for top-tier Harper's Ferry error quarters document a market that has consistently appreciated with each major sale, setting new benchmarks that validate collector demand and rarity. These aren't inflated catalog estimates or hopeful asking prices. These are real hammer prices where real buyers with serious wealth competed to own specific coins they considered essential to their collections. The historical significance of Harper's Ferry adds emotional weight to these quarters. The site represents a critical moment in American history, a turning point on the road to the Civil War, and holding a coin that honors that location while simultaneously being one of the rarest modern errors creates a powerful collecting appeal that transcends pure investment calculations. The market fundamentals supporting Harper's Ferry error quarter values include documented rarity with extremely low populations in top grades, strong and growing collector demand from both modern error specialists and type collectors, demonstrated price appreciation over time, media coverage that brings new collectors into the market, and the accessibility factor that keeps the treasure hunt alive and engaging. Before we close, drop a comment if you can start searching for these valuable state quarters. Like this video if it's changed your perspective on pocket change. Share it with anyone who might have a fortune sitting in their change jar. and subscribe to the Coin Hunter because we're constantly covering coins that could be hiding in your possession right now. The technical minting processes that create Harpers Ferry errors involve complex interactions between dies, planchets, and presses operating at high speeds, and when anything in that system malfunctions or deteriorates, errors result that range from subtle die deterioration to spectacular wrong planchet strikes that create coins completely unlike their intended appearance. The authentication challenges with modern high-value errors have increased as prices climbed. Counterfeiters have attempted to create artificial errors or alter genuine coins to mimic valuable varieties, making third-party grading absolutely essential and making it critical to buy only certified examples from reputable sources. The community of Harpers Ferry error specialists includes some of the most knowledgeable numismatists in the country, people who can identify specific die states by tiny diagnostic markers, track population changes as new coins are certified, and recognize the subtle differences between major varieties and minor die states. The investment perspective on top-grade Harpers Ferry errors treats them as legitimate rarities, deserving comparison to classic American error coins, and the market results support that view with consistent appreciation and strong bidding when premium examples appear at auction. The grading nuances are critical because the difference between MS 67 and MS 68 or MS 69 can mean the difference between a coin worth thousands and one worth hundreds of thousands or millions, making careful grading by experts with the right experience absolutely essential. The identification markers to look for include die breaks, especially dramatic ones that create raised lines through major design elements, doubling visible under-magnification in lettering or design features, evidence of off-center striking in rim irregularities or design placement, wrong planchet characteristics, including incorrect weight and diameter, and struck-through errors showing impressions of foreign materials. The psychological appeal of hunting for Harpers Ferry errors combines the accessibility of a recent date, the treasure hunt thrill of finding something valuable in circulation, the satisfaction of building knowledge in a specialized area, and the legitimate potential for financial gain that turns a hobby into a profitable treasure hunt. The market trends show sustained strength with new collectors continually entering the state quarter error market, prices for premium examples holding firm or appreciating, strong liquidity allowing easy buying and selling of certified coins, and growing mainstream awareness bringing new money and interest into the field. The real-world discovery potential remains genuine. Despite years of collector searching, new Harpers Ferry error quarters continue to surface from circulation, estate collections, and forgotten accumulations, proving that valuable examples remain findable by knowledgeable and dedicated searchers who never give up. The technical verification process involves weighing the coin on a precise scale, measuring diameter with a caliper, examining all design elements under magnification, comparing to confirmed genuine examples, and seeking professional opinions when significant value is possible. The 2016 D. Harpers Ferry State Quarter represents the pinnacle of modern American error coinage, combining recent date accessibility with genuine rarity, historical significance with numismatic importance, visual drama with technical interest, and documented value with continuing treasure hunt potential, making it the ultimate goal for state quarter error collectors and the crown jewel that could still be discovered by anyone willing to look carefully at their pocket change. Learn what distinguishes valuable errors from ordinary coins, and never stop searching because the fortune you're looking for might literally be in your pocket right now. And after watching this video on the Coin Hunter, you now have the knowledge to recognize it, the understanding to verify it, and the inspiration to start your own treasure hunt that could genuinely change your life. So get out there and start checking those quarters because the next major discovery could be yours. And what happens? When you find that error that makes your heart race and your hands shake, remember that you learned about it right here, that you took the time to watch this video, absorb this knowledge, and act on it, and that persistence and education have paid off in ways that seemed impossible when you started. Thank you for watching The Coin Hunter. Make sure you've subscribed so you never miss another video about valuable coins hiding in circulation. Hit that like button if this content has changed how you view your pocket change. Share this video with everyone who needs to know about these incredible state quarters. Drop a comment about any interesting quarters you've found or any questions you have about error coins. And keep hunting because the treasure is out there and it could be yours.